That, are you the one that does that?
It goes by your voice or your motions.
So don't move and don't talk.
The
Transcript on YouTube.
It's on that.
I know it's AI.
That's good.
Because some of the words are just like. But it used to just come in black. And now it's a vacant, like outline type that once the words are said, it fills in. And it's really hard to,
I'll take a look. I haven't changed the process.
okay,
So they must have changed it.
something,
Oh,
because it's like, wow.
Well, it is 5:00, 5:01, so we can call the meeting to order. Don't think we need introductions. Discussion or action on minutes from the last meeting on January 6th.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the January 6th budget meeting.
Second,
I'll second.
who's a second? All those in favor? It's a vote. Bruce, we're in favor of the minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Review proposed 2026 budget, use of surplus undesignated fund.
Right, this is called different things depending on the day, but most commonly it's known as surplus. This is money that largely generates from lapses in the budget, so. Lapsed balances in the budget, so if you have a budget of $100,000 and you only spend $70,000.
Okay.
That $30,000 goes into surplus.
Okay.
So the closer that your spends are to actuals, the less that this grows. It also works in terms of unbudgeted revenues.
Okay.
Anything that comes in as excess revenue will go to that. Budgeted revenues go to general fund. So you can use money from this to offset taxation. For years it was 500,000. For the last 2 years, I believe it's been up to 550,000. And pretty much we take a look at our beginning balance, which is always a preliminary balance. And then look at what the spends are going to be for the next year. So because we don't have an audit and we don't have that audited January number, you can play around with it. But to give you an idea, I initially I kicked 2 million, but in the past we've had upwards of 2.7. But last year we only had 2.1 in surplus. So audit standards is that we need to keep anywhere between 3 months and 6 months worth of expenses in surplus. So you can see on the right side of the column using last year's all-out number, that 6.2 million. I spread that across a monthly, and by audit standards, you want to have 1.5 to 3.1 million in surplus.
Why's that?
Worst case scenario, if everything stops, then you're able to pay the bills for anywhere between 3 and 6 months. Customarily, we've been around the 4-month mark, but given our position, in our unusual revenue stream, we tend to hover around 3 months.
That rainy day fund, John.
Rainy day fund.
Yeah.
So how much you have in the bag for?
I don't have that little in the back.
What is the PY expense?
So that's last year's expenses for all of the school, all of the county, and all of the town.
Is that expense or is that what was taxed?
That is what was sent to taxation for last year.
So 6.2 million was the tax, for tax. That's what we pay taxes on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what I hear you saying then is we're here to take something out of the 2.2 to defray the cost of those taxes.
Correct. So if you take 550,000, that's the same as it was last year, so that'll remain cost neutral from what we talked about before. Yeah, when you talk about reserve accounts or whatnot.
So
But we
last,
really don't, oh, sorry, go ahead.
last year, the host benefit fees were 123 something.
Those are restricted funds.
Yeah.
But by vote of the town, those are fenced.
But don't you look at how they go down when you're determining this number?
Host fees are used in budgeted revenue, or it's fenced fund, where it goes into a designated host emergency fund. And and that's by vote of the town.
I'm not saying touching it, I'm just, what can you plan on getting?
We estimate we've been advised that we can budget on 3% increase.
But we don't know what the school budget's gonna be, that isn't, right? We don't know
No,
what that's gonna be, or the county budget.
that's right, so we could do everything, we could cut our municipal budget
So
to zero,
we shouldn't,
and
we're kind of jumping the gun on doing this now. We ought to wait.
so this has to be approved by town meeting, so the select board, that's why the language is up to, because if. Which it won't, but if the school budget came in down, the county budget came in down. You may just say, let's keep taxes flat and reduce this by $20,000 or something like that. The select board did that a few years ago. And didn't let the assessors take the full amount, that's when it got bumped up and things changed. So, yeah, yes, it's early, it's very preliminary, but in order to be able to appropriate the money for taxes, you have to put it through town meeting.
So what is the time? I know you're up against the gun schedule wise, how many days ahead of the town meeting does this have to be done so people review it? Is it 45 days?
So the warrant technically needs to be posted 7 days before town meeting. The select board likes to get ink on the warrant so that it can appear in the town report, and the town report's due out. That's really why we time the warrant when we time the warrant, is so that that full warrant can be published in the town report.
And how much time do you need to do the town?
Town report needs to be out of this office before the end of next week. My final audit number won't come in. I'll have a preliminary audit number at the end of next week. It usually, they email the printer directly with the short audit. A finalized audit won't come in until December of this year now, 26.
They're done now and they're crunching all the numbers.
They're not done now. They've taken preliminary data in order to generate the 8-page report that we put in the town report.
When does the county budget come out?
The county's just starting theirs. They won't have anything usually until May. We'll get our commitment number, and then we get a bill in June and July, and then that's due in November or October. There's a fair day grace, so we hold on to it till November.
And then school usually is June.
School will be voted on in June.
So the 500, so you're recommending 550?
I would recommend the language is gonna be up to 550. If you wanna recommend the full 550, they could remove language from the floor. That then require the use of 550. I wouldn't recommend going over that. With a 2.2 estimate. Given that we're already on the edge of what they're recommending that we have.
I see, yeah, right there, yeah. And is that 550 a set figure so that automatically that whole amount, or is that depending on the other tax from the other two people, the other two organizations?
So it's the language as it's written, has been written, is allows for the use of up to $550,000
To do what?
to reduce tax commitment.
By how much?
Up to $550,000.
Okay,
That has been left to the tax assessors
okay,
to determine at the end. In 10 years, I've never seen them use a different number. They've
Okay.
always taken the maximum.
Okay. Then I would move that we approve up to $550,000 for tax reduction. Is that the proper way to say that?
Yep.
Okay.
Second,
So if we're right on the line. Should we reduce that amount? Since we're basically shooting in the dark, what? Right? Education is going to be what? And which is expected to go up.
But the language is up to, we're not saying.
But if the tax assessor normally takes the full amount,
They're elected tax assessors. This is your board of 3 tax assessors.
Yeah. And but they normally take up to the full amount, so even if you say up to, they're going to take the full 550. That's my understanding, am I missing
That's
something?
past practice, yeah.
So is this, I must have missed this, the tax assessors didn't make their recommendation yet, they can't make it till the.
They do not make a recommendation as part of this process.
So what are you thinking, more?
I
I mean, what you're doing is just, you're reducing the tax burden on the. If they take it off, but that doesn't mean, I mean, you could recommend 650,000, but doesn't mean that they're gonna use it all.
True,
Our recommendation is just. A recommendation.
yeah. Yeah, no, I just was curious. I was just throwing that out there, if 550.
If you go into the town meeting and they do what they sometimes do and they say approve Article 1 to 100. It would be against. Well, I'm not saying we would, but what if our amount was different than select? They take the highest amount up to, like if somebody said 600, whatever you said, 600,000. Would that be?
I can't commit for the select board, but customarily that's how it's been done. The maximum allowed appears on the warrant. But you'll have,
But it also posts. If the select is the maximum amount or we're the maximum amount, it also shows. Not that people read that either, but it shows the other amount too,
yes,
but they're voting on the top one.
right,
And all we can do is anticipate what the school budget's gonna do and the county's gonna do, and we know exactly what they're gonna do. They're going up
Yeah,
$65 million school. The county doesn't ever go down.
oh, I mean, the county stayed flat last year, but we went up because of the way that they shipped the formula. Yeah, and we're gonna continue to feel that. Skywarden's taxes are gonna go down and now it's gonna go up.
So what happens if?
So right now, we get a motion that John and that nobody voted in.
So we got a motion on the floor to approve the 550K to reduce the tax burden. Do I have a second?
Could I have one more question? What if you vote on it and there's a big, I guess there won't be, but what if there's a big surprise with the school or something was different than expected?
If it's a big surprise,
Everybody,
like in our favor, it won't be
Excuse
in
me.
our favor. If it's against our favor,
Right.
then you could hold a special town meeting.
I'm not anticipating any of that, but just what happens.
I'll second Ron's motion.
All those in favor?
Opposed?
We,
I would recommend 650.
you would have gone up.
And then you don't have to use it all, but if you don't have it there, now we're gonna spend money to have a special town meeting to raise it up. Or charge more tax dollars.
Okay. Other business? Is that next meeting date?
I know, it's kind of a fire.
Motion to adjourn?
Can I wanted to say something about the next meeting date. We have, people, I know you've been on about it. In other committees that I've been on, when you have somebody who's employed, you make the meeting schedules around them being able to come. Kara works till 6 o'clock or something. And the only way she could have come today would be to quit early, come in the same thing last time, and it was very hard, I think, working on Zoom. You always have to go first. I mean, I haven't thought of two things about it, just my observation. But I do think that It's too bad, and I don't understand really why that rule was made, because I mean, the select committee of 6, I believe, so. Anybody in the town who wants to listen is in theory home could come, and nobody has to take time off work to come. This happened, I'll tell you, with the library board for years, because. It's a 5-member board, there were 4 who were home retired, would love to come in the morning. We had 1 person each term that worked. And so what we did is we said, okay, we can do this, so, it may not be terrible, we've got 2 new people coming on next time. What can the employed person, what would make it easiest? To be sure they're here, and maybe they can take off and they can be here. I think TIF is at 5 or.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
We have 1 o'clock in the afternoon meetings, we have 10 o'clock in the morning meetings. Honestly, I get it, I understand participation, but when a majority of people can attend a meeting at 5 o'clock, the majority of those people want it at 5 o'clock, they don't want to be here starting at 6 o'clock. So it makes it difficult for that, but.
Yeah, the library got to be 4:30 or 5 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Now it's 3,
Change the days, yeah.
it's 3 o'clock, and library trustees need 3.
I wouldn't mind having it at 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
I'm up.
I'm up too. I make a
There you
move.
go. Johnny's not up.
Just, it seems to be,
Not into that.
let's go back to, this one example, and it'll be different every time. You have somebody who actually went around and collected all the signatures to get on the committee, it wasn't a write-in. It just seemed like somebody who really wanted, I mean, I don't know Tara, except for the times we've sat here, but somebody really dedicated and wants to come in and do it, and we make it hard for them. But also we were up, I know you were up against the time wise, although we're still just a tight year to get it ready for the town meeting, which.
Well, town meeting's about as early as they can get.
Yeah.
2nd of March.
So what do you have to do to get the town to change their meeting to May? How many signatures?
You could approach a select board, so you didn't have to get signatures. Other than that, you get, I think it's 10% of participation in the last gubernatorial election, which is in the ballpark of 150.
150,000 signatures?
No, 150 signatures. So we look at it, how many Norridgewock voters voted in the last gubernatorial election. Then it's 10% of that by petition, and then it will still have to go to a vote in order to be able to consider that.
I mean, it's not a discussion for this group, but just to put it out there, I think people complain you have to get your papers in by 60 days ahead or whatever it is. So this year, papers had to be in December 31st. Theory, when people start going away for the holidays, that means it's gonna be in the week before.
Yeah, I tread lightly, but people don't come and get their papers anyway. And an excuse is an excuse. And if you want to run for public office, you can go get 25 signatures as you want, or you can go get 5 write-in votes and you can largely get on the board committee.
But is that the way you wanna do it, 5 write-in votes? I mean, I've been on 5-year terms with 5 votes.
But I mean, you can do that if you're gonna pivot to that, and then I think you look to shift your fiscal year altogether. Because then you're looking at voting. We're already spending a quarter of the year's budget before the budget's voted on. So if you want to vote in May, then you're gonna be looking at 50% by the time it's done.
Make it in October, just do something, wait, that's hard with elections. I'm just thinking we're eliminating it's gone on for years, where the older population in the town doesn't come out, there people won't come out at night in the winter. Years ago, there used to be a potluck supper before the meeting, everybody came with an event. You say, I know you said people don't come on a Saturday.
We used to have years ago, a lot of people at the meeting, I remember.
It was 45
We were in the
people
gym,
that year.
old gym, and all the stands would be packed.
I think it wasn't about 45 people last year, and 42 of them were firemen getting awards. It's just.
If you give people something to fight over, they'll show up.
Yeah, that's right.
Things are going well and they're pleased and they're just gonna come in for
Like change the
information.
date of the next.
They're gonna come in for information and.
Came in for the gazebo.
Right.
Adjourned. Thank you all.